everyone. I'm glad I'm able to connect with you here. I think my scenario may be a bit dark because of the dark hair. I have lights on, but for my video I'm seeing a light. But let that not be an issue. We have a limited time, and so I'll be sharing my screen and I'll go right into the discussion that we have planned for today. So this evening we've listened to a lot of discussions around integrating technology. We've listened to the last speaker talked about instructional design, and I will be looking at the pedagogical angle of most of the things that have been said. So I'm sharing my screen, please, just a minute, and my screen should be up. All right. Okay. And so this evening, I'll try to keep to time. I know most of us have been there, and I believe my screen is up.
Yes, your screen is up.
So I would be sharing on the pedagogical model for virtual learning, because I know a lot of us right now are attending to our kids remotely, and we are looking for a way to engage our students at this stay-home period. I know in some countries right now, some schools are getting back into the classroom, but I know majority of the students that we are working with are still at home, and we have to look for ways to engage them. That has been what has been the drive in this recent time. For most of us, we were kind of pushed into this virtual engagement. It wasn't something most schools were prepared for, and so we had to look for innovative ways and creative ways to keep our students engaged online, to keep them cognitively active. And so my name is, again, Dr. Oluyalo Lawani. I'm an educational technologist, and I would share. So I'll start by reading now this extract from the UNESCO Coalition Technology Blueprint for Microsoft Education that was set out this April 2020. And it says that the first step in working with an education system is to help them define the specifics of the virtual learning pedagogical model that is both feasible. So because in this period, we have different school scenarios, we have different technology infrastructures, we have different expectations, and so you need, the first step is to understand, okay, what kind of virtual pedagogy is feasible in this, given the technology environment that the teachers and students have, and also what can we use to represent the curriculum goals the system would want to pass on or achieve during the process. So this thought leads us to some questions, and answering those questions will help us define the kind of model that we'll be using, that we will use to effectively engage at this point in time, in line with what kind of infrastructure we have and what we hope to achieve where curriculum is concerned. So teaching and learning questions, we are asking, are the teachers expected to create lesson plans and learning projects that are aligned with the national curriculum? Or are we looking at more personal context, more personal interest? Are we looking at covering everything that we need to cover as normally you would have done in a face-to-face traditional setting? Or are we just looking at, look, we are not really interested in fulfilling all the curriculum content. What we want to do is just to keep these kids engaged cognitively and keep our contact on. And I see such scenarios, different schools playing out in different scenarios. So really, if you're able to answer questions, what curriculum content. And one thing you could do at this point while you're having this remote classes, especially if you know it's almost going to be extremely taxing to say, oh, I want to follow the national curriculum in total. You may think and say, okay, if I have just 15 minutes to pass across my content, what are the most important ideas I want to drop with these kids? What do I want to leave after my connection with this kid? What is the most important aspect of this content I need them to go away with, as against every other content or the flesh, that kind of the boning the content to give them exactly what the bone is in that lesson. That's one of the questions you need to address, and then that will help you in designing the model you will use to carry out your virtual learning. Then are teachers and students already familiar with using technology for teaching and learning in schools? So that again is a question that needs to be answered, because we have different school scenarios and there's not one size fits all. There's no one size fits all application. There's no one size fits all solution to virtual engagement with our students even at this point in time. So if it's the school where students are already familiar with technology, the teachers are already familiar with technology, the model that you'll be using, the case scenarios you'll be using will be totally different from a school who is just looking at how to engage their teachers and their students at this period with technology. So you cannot now decide to copy the model of a school who the students and teachers are already familiar with. You will bring in some stress factors into that engagement, and in the end you may not achieve the outcomes you want, the positive outcomes you want from this engagement. And another question that you would want to ask while you also look at engaging effectively in this period is if the curriculum materials are already in digital formats, because you do have I know some scenarios where you may have some schools who already have answered yes to the other question, have their contents already in digital formats, or do teachers need to create them? So if I just have to begin creating my contents digitally, can I really follow the curriculum in full and all that? So the answers that these questions lead to will determine how you can design an effective virtual learning for your school. So if you look at these questions and sincerely answer them, and then you begin to make steps into actually designing a virtual content for your school, virtual connections for your school that would be effectively carried on. And I said, what is the enduring? I said this earlier on when we were talking about the teaching and learning question. So what is the enduring understanding students need to have at the end of this lesson? So you may just want to focus on that aspect and then leave away some of the exercises that are just add-on or extra flesh to your content. And you have to say, if I had only 10 minutes with my students, what is the most crucial information for me to give them for them to retain? So this will help you focus on the main content of your delivery for those topics that you want to cover. And you know that the content that you know that, oh, if they don't know this at this point in time, it really isn't an issue, or this is something they can easily discover on their own or go and do their personal learning on. But these are issues that I need to help guide their understanding and then focus on those areas of your content. So this will help you in developing the content for that. So having asked the teaching and learning questions, you also have the technical questions you need to answer. And so you'll be asking yourself, what type of technology will teachers and students have access to? So do they have, are we talking about computers here? Are we talking about laptops here? Are we talking about smartphones here? Are we talking about mobile? So you ask what percentage, you look at, you have to do your data analysis, you have to do your research, what percentage of my teachers have these technologies. So if I now decide to take an application that is just laptop based, will my students be able to access this content or these trainings or these virtual interactions and all that? And you ask, will every teacher and student have a device, or will they have to share devices, e.g.? And so this is something we need to understand, that at this point in time, you have a lot of shared devices, because I'm speaking based on what I know from my own country. And you know that in some homes, you may just have a laptop or two, and then you may have 4 or 5 kids, and you have parents who are working remotely also having need for those laptops. So that again will determine the kind of pedagogical virtual models you will be designing to engage your students at this point in time. Then you ask yourself, will the devices be television, radio, desktop, laptop? You just answer the question, what type of technology teachers or students will have access to? And then will these devices connect to the network, broadband, mobile network all the time, part-time, or never? So answering to these technical questions will help you in your designing and in your preparation and your planning for your the pedagogy you would use during this virtual learning. So if it's that, oh, you have done your research, you've done your data collection, and you know that your school, your students will have continual access to internet, that's a very different scenario. You can plan with that. If it's, you're looking at just maybe an hour engagement per time, and that's also you would plan for. You don't want it to be something they have to be online at all. You have to find a means in which they can also have access to this content without actually being connected online, and that also would be something that you could look at. What are the options available out there that you could adopt or adapt for your own case scenarios. So you see, at the beginning of this period, I did a little research. I sent out a survey, and I came. This part of the result I got from the, because I wanted to know our teachers in Nigeria are they ready for remote learning and for remote teaching. And from the results, you can see that most of them do have a computer or a laptop at home that has software and internet connectivity to work remotely. So having this kind of data helps you know, okay, I just have about a quarter of them who doesn't have internet connectivity or a laptop at home, and you could now design your model based on the majority of the responses, or look for how, okay, even though it's just a quarter of these respondents or my teachers in my school or that don't have, what other way can I reduce this number and assist them in also having this system. So having data, looking at the scenarios, looking at what you have, answering these questions actually will be a guide to help develop effective virtual connections. We know at this period that we were just thrown into this COVID period, and a lot of teachers and a lot of schools just were pushed into this path, that unfamiliar paths, and they just were running else's scales and just accepting, taking up whatever application. Oh, this school is using this app, this school is using this app, and all that, without actually sitting down to answer these questions and define a model that is workable for them. And so along the line, you will see either the students' engagement drops and or the complaints begin to come in. Parents are complaining about data and all that because the plan wasn't properly put in place. So understanding this will now determine if you are going to use the synchronous model or the asynchronous model. And the synchronous model basically is when you have your students learning at the same time. So you could have live sessions, your kids come in, you share your content live, you take your poll or your assignment live, and you do everything at the same time with all your kids being online at the same time. Or you could do the asynchronous, pre-recorded lessons. You're sending the contents ahead of time, and so whenever anybody, especially those who are using the shared devices scenario, whenever they have the time, they can come in, log in, and have access to your content, to respond to your questions at their own time. You could actually put a deadline to it and all that, but it's not live like we're doing right now. It's something that you put into consideration. Access time for these kids, and especially those who may have to share devices or may not have continuous access to the internet. So, and then again, you may decide to do both, and then have maybe once in a week or twice a week have the synchronous connections where they just come together at a point in time for a few minutes or an hour max, and you are able to connect to them live, attend to their needs live, and answer questions and help solve problems, and then go back to just the synchronous learning for the asynchronous learning for the latter part of the week. And so it's all about planning based on this questions and answers to these questions. And so one of the we have three case scenarios that from observation ones right now, and we have the scenario where you have the no or low connectivity issue, and we've seen where governments and other agencies are broadcasting their basic national curriculum. We've seen that happen in some states here in Nigeria, and so you have the TV programs running at a particular section, because we need to understand that a lot of schools are closed, and not every school, like by the time you answer the questions I just shared, not every school would have access at the same time and internet connectivity and all that. So, and you don't want the divide to be wide. You want to reach as many kids as possible within your vicinity. So every location, every community has their own need, and so we have to look at, okay, what is the best case scenario, or what's the best solution for my community, or for my district, or for my own school, and all that, based on the answers of the questions you've asked concerning teaching and learning. And so you have areas where these children have low or no connectivity, and we've seen people using national TV broadcasting stations and all to present basic national curriculum there. And then you also have the second scenario, which is the emerging connectivity scenario, and where you have mostly it's done as classes using digital online curriculum, mobile phones, devices with intermittent teacher and student communication. And so we have different applications that enable for such case scenarios. And I would say that this is where majority of our schools are, in this middle circle, in this middle category. While we do know that in the rural areas, broadcasting is what is being used as a solution, but we have most of our schools, especially in the urban areas and cities, using the emerging connectivity scenarios. And of course, we do have the full connectivity, but that is just a minute percentage of school engagements that I have seen and observed, where you have live online class meetings with complete natural curriculum. I know presently there are some schools who have actually started their term fully and everything is running. I work with a particular school who does everything, even assembly time and students club hours and everything, and they're doing it fully online. And so you have students and staff collaboration going on. You have students' grades being shared, and assessments taking place. They're having grades reported and all that. So you have this full connectivity scenario. And the truth about these three case scenarios is that they all do have their strengths. They all do have their benefits, and they also have their challenges. And so I'll just quickly go one after the other to look at these scenarios. So we have the no or low connectivity scenario, and basically answering the question of teaching and learning, you just want to broadcast basic curriculum content for continuity of access to learning content. You're not like looking at continuing the term or continuing the class engagement as normal as it has been for a face-to-face or traditional class engagement. You don't want your students left out. You want them to continue to access learning content. So that's basically what you're looking at. So it's supplemented by print materials and attendance where possible, but that's also difficult to capture. And most of the devices that they'll be having access to, especially if it's maybe the radio or TV, which we know that at least majority of people in various communities have. And so we see like some of the states who are running this kind of program would announce the timings for these programs, maybe for the senior secondary 3, we have it by 9 a.m. to whatever on this channel and that channel. And so if you can't log into the radio, maybe to the TV, you also have those same curriculum shared on the radio and all that. So it is used to broadcast basic, like I said, national worldwide curriculum. The limitations there, is only limited. You can only broadcast limited curriculum. There are some topics that radios can not help you deliver properly, and then even you have some limitations even if you're using the TV. And then it is unidirectional in that the students can ask questions or give feedback. But one of the benefits is that it's one of the quickest and widest way to deploy access to learning content. So we can see that even for the low or no connectivity scenario, there's still a benefit to it, and your students can still at least access learning to content. And then the emerging connectivity, the objective is to provide asynchronous digital classes online. So part of the curriculum, you have students and teacher communication and all that, and you can also take attendance of people who are connected with the content. At least for this kind of access, for this kind of connectivity, we need at least one connected device per family. So it may be the mobile device, maybe the laptop. So since it's asynchronous, at least we know that the student at some time during the day would have access to that device. But because the teacher would have to have, every teacher would have to have a connected device because they will be one delivering this content to the students. The scenario, you have students having access to recorded lectures and digital contents of the curriculum. You have teachers assigning work and communicating with the class in different ways. So there are different applications that you can use for this kind of scenarios. And then you have one of the limitations is that students' connectivity or access is limited. So you can't have, it's whenever they can have access to their devices that they can connect to the content you have delivered. And then your teacher-student interaction is not always real time. But one of the major limitations is that it relies on students and family motivation. So if the student actually gets bored along the line, there's really nothing you can do as an educator to encourage them to keep at the learning content. And then if the family also are not involved in helping them or like asking, aren't you supposed to be, have you attended your content? Do you have any assignments to work? Have you submitted your assignments? You don't have family members also motivating the student. There's a possibility that they drop in engagements with those content since it's asynchronous. But the benefit is that at least you have continuous student engagement with teachers and the peers, of course, and teachers are able to collaborate, and you can have teachers training also done in this manner. And then the last one, which is the full connectivity scenario, of course, you have live online classes with complete natural curriculum taking place, and teacher-student collaboration. You have assessments and gradings and reporting and all that. That's a normal school would run, even though this is being done online and virtually. And then for this kind of case scenario, all teachers and students have a connected device. So you have what it enables is, of course, lectures available online. You can record students' progress, and there's continuous collaboration with teachers and all that. But the limitations is that the devices and connectivity expense is quite maybe expensive to deploy. So apart from schools who already run a one-to-one device scenario in their regular schools, I think that those are the ones that may be able to have this full connectivity issue. And then, of course, we know the data cost and all that being live every day would also be one of the things that would be a challenge at that point in time. And then the teacher capacity building will need to be ongoing, because you need to continue to find ways to be creative and innovative in your connections, so you don't bore your students out. You look for ways to keep the engagement on, and so there's no they don't get bored and begin to get disengaged with having to come online every day and receive content from the teachers virtually. And so one of the benefits is that you have students fully interact with the modern learning environment that can supplement physical schools and accelerate learning. So in this period, even students who may not have had a voice or may not, because I can also go back to replay the content you've shared and all that, unlike the face-to-face settings where after the teacher leaves the class, that's about it. So if I missed a word or two, I can go back to replay and to pick up from where I like say branched off or went off task. But with these kind of scenarios, you have much more engagement with content, and learning is accelerated for the students. So I'm just sharing another aspect of my survey, and so I asked teachers to indicate which of the tools they use in delivering courses online, and you can see that from the table I shared here, we have the WhatsApp. These are Nigerian teachers, so we have WhatsApp as one of the major tools that teachers are using to connect with their students online. You can see that that keeps you at the emerging scenario, because most times your connection is asynchronous. You speak, you wait for requests, and sometimes some students are annoying. They come back and read through the threads and engage with the contents and all that, and then respond. So, but at least we have that scenario going on. We have other applications that are being used. You have the Microsoft Teams, you have the Google Classroom, and all that. And then you have a scenario where some of them are not even engaging at all with the students at this point in time because of maybe lack of device or connectivity. And I want to say that because sometimes when we talk about online learning, we think that, it's only private schools that have, most private schools will be able to work on this, and the people who may have challenges are the public school sector. But you can see from the data here that most of the responses I got were actually from private schools. And so there are a major representation of this data here. So it's not just about whether you're a private school or a public school, it's about answering the questions that have been said before. What can you do to actually engage your students? And so when you're considering working with students remotely, these are basic considerations that you should have. First and foremost, we talked about the technology. And so what kind of technology do they have? how often can they access that technology and all that. But we also need to look at the students' emotional needs, because COVID is not only a challenge, it has not only been challenging to adults, but it has been a challenge to students and kids equally. Their lifestyle has changed. They've been forced to sit home like forever, and all these things can come to play with on their emotional needs. And we know that learning actually also is a social aspect of learning, which if we are not careful connecting with them virtually, we may lose it because unlike in the traditional classroom, they have their friends, they can crack a joke, or look at somebody and make a smile, or teacher can come in and say something. So we need to also keep that in mind and ensure that our engagements also bears in mind their social students' emotional needs. We look at including electives, and so for engagements where you could do something outside, besides rather just pushing the curriculum, where like normally you would have had them take a quiz or do a debate or whatever it is. And if there's a way you could still introduce these things even into your virtual connections, I think it will help with students' engagement and increasing their engagement. Of course, we also would look at other students, electricity, power, all that, and then look at bandwidth, which we've also talked about. So having all this behind our minds while we plan our engagement virtually as a school or as a teacher would help us design use the right pedagogical model for virtual learning engagement. And so I would be closing with this quote. It says that teacher effectiveness is the largest factor influencing students' outcome after the home environment, outweighing all other policies and programs. Time spent in professional development, especially collaborative professional development, is one of the most effective differentiators of high-performing schools. And so at this point in time when we have to engage our students, really, they almost like them out as teachers, and really, yes, the school may have given you the platform, but you really need to own your own professional and development at this point in time. And I believe that's why most of us signed up for this virtual conference, so that we can learn a thing or two. And I celebrate every educator who has joined in this, because you are needed to actually bring this effectiveness and to be and help your students achieve the learning outcomes at this period. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope I've been able to pass across some basic information. So I stop sharing now.